Welcome to Beast Bites, my very first episode of Beast Bites podcast, and a very special guest, my homeboy, on the actual anniversary of Julius fighting Iron Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah.
Julius Francis, welcome, Julius.
Right, well,
My old school OG.
homies from back in the day.
Way back in the day, we go back to like over 40 years, I believe.
Don't say that,
Over
because
40
it gives
years,
away my
man.
age.
So, Ju, first things first. Let's just take it back to your childhood, the beginning. If you could tell me about your early childhood
My early childhood.
and your family, your siblings, and
All right, then look. Born in Peckham, Camberwell, that area. Moved to Abbeywood as a child. Don't actually remember exactly when. And basically grew up in Abbeywood. I had my mum, my dad, my older sister Joanne, my younger brother Amos, and my younger sister Marcia, who obviously you know and knew. Yeah, that's where we grew up, Abbey-Woods. I've always lived in South London and grew up in South London, South East London. Abbey-Wood was old town. Thamesmead was just coming out of the ground. My dad was a crane driver, tower crane driver.
how old are you now, Ju? Sorry.
Oh, do I have to give away my age?
Yeah, you got to tell me your age, mate.
I'm actually 61. 61, I was 61 December. So early December. So 61. Yeah, my dad was a tower crane driver. Working on Thamesmead when Thamesmead was just coming out of the ground. So that area, all that area there we knew as kids. That was our playground.
A lot of derelict
Well, it was derelict. It was all new builds going up.
construction site.
Yeah,
really.
construction site. That was it. And that's where we used to play.
So that would have been around early 70s.
That was early, yeah, definitely in the early 70s. Yeah, 100% it was early 70s.
That was like before when stage what they call
Oh no, stage 1, stage 2, and all that weren't.
Weren't
It was
even-
only stage 1 was the only stage 1. The lake, Thamesmead Lake,
Yeah.
the parks there. They had the playing park there for the kids' park and cinema. I don't know if people would ever, or if you would ever remember Binsley Walk,
No.
the Tavy Bridge. There was all the new places that was all coming up, and they was kind of like the names and the areas that was
construction.
even Abbeywood train station as it is now. And I hadn't been back to Abbeywood for over 45 years.
Wow.
And when I went back one day to look at my old where I grew up.
What
And
the fuck?
it actually brought tears to my eyes. Actually, the block where I grew up is still there. On Abbeywood side, yeah. But it brought tears to my eyes because I remember, obviously, I had lots of great memories there, lots of sad memories there.
Yeah.
But just seeing the area, how it had grown, all the trees, all the little skinny trees that were there when I was a kid, all big, massive trees, and the bushes like a forest there now. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, Thamesmead has changed. The whole of Thamesmead has changed as far as I'm concerned now. Where I grew up watching stage 1, stage 2 grow up.
Did you school there? Was you?
No, I actually went to school. Well, my senior school was Abbeywood Comprehensive, which is not there
What
anymore.
about? No, I mean from your
But-
primary.
No, so as a kid, there was 2 schools I knew in Abbeywood. So there was Lucy and a school called Thomas and Becket.
Thomas and Becket.
Thomas and Becket, yeah. The history of Abbeywood goes right back to, I think it's 1066, actually, the history of it. I went to Thomas and Becket School, which was obviously a Catholic school. I went to Lucy, which was an ordinary school. We didn't have to wear school uniform, you know. You had to go to church to be able to go to Thomas and Becket. I remember the
Church of
red.
England.
I don't know if it's church. I can't remember.
I think it is.
But we had red blazers, grey shorts, a red and white striped tie, and you used to have to wear a cap. So there was all these, you know,
Right.
and it was. My dad was very proud to see his kids going off to school, I suppose.
In the uniform.
In their uniform, yeah. I wasn't necessarily the best student because I had trouble reading and stuff like that. I was dyslexic. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that brought its own.
As well as ADHD or
Well,
hyperactive,
yeah, but then
hyperactive. Or,
But you got to remember, back then in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, those things weren't heard of.
no, they weren't diagnosed.
No,
I mean,
there was no such
there was
thing
no
as
diagnosis,
a diagnosis
yeah.
of any of these.
yeah. Well, there was autistic.
Things.
There was autistic, but
But they weren't.
It were-
You got to remember, they wasn't classed. They wasn't called autistic. They was just educationally subhuman or educationally subnormal. That's what they
Yeah,
would. That's what
yeah.
they would have classed. as.
yeah. Well,
So there
in
was
my
all these-
school, we
there
were
was all
called
these things.
maladjusted, and
Well,
and there was autistic children.
That's new. That's
Tourette's,
new words because you're a bit younger than
bipolar.
me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maladjusted was what we were called in my boarding school.
So, but that was our growing up. In Abbey Wood at that time, I remember there was only 4 black families. So we had the Wright family that lived on the next block to us, and we were obviously friends with them.
So did
our
you get
families
some
were-
discrimination then? Definitely. You
Yeah,
must
yeah,
have
of
got
course,
some.
100%. But you got to remember, look, as I would say, and as I've said before, that you wouldn't know as a child that you was being discriminated against
No.
for your colour.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, we had a family, the Wright family that lived on the next block to us. Then you had 2 other families, was the Kelly family and the Stout family. So obviously, you know,
The Stout family, Victor
yeah,
and his sister.
and Jennifer, who was my age, same age as me. We went to school together. She actually became an
Athletics,
Olympic.
yeah.
She ran in the Olympics.
Yeah.
For me, looking at someone like her, I was amazed because she was a great athlete. She was a runner and a great athlete.
Yeah.
And I used to see her sometimes when I used to go to work later on after we left school, whatever. And I used to talk to her about her career as an athlete. I hadn't necessarily done anything in the boxing world. I was still an amateur boxer.
You was just street fighting at the time.
Yeah, street fighting and doing my amateur boxing. But even that, like with the growing up, you saw I had the Kelly family as well. I mentioned the Kelly family. One of the sons, Errol, who was my year, same age as me. He was always, as a child, he was built like a He-Man as a child. He went on to become a bodybuilder, you know, but he was a natural from,
Lump.
I think, he was a natural from, and I don't even think he knew about lifting weights. He was
Brick
just
shit
natural.
ass.
He was just built like
yourself.
an absolute, no. I was a skinny kid. Believe me, when I grew up, when I was young, I was a skinny kid, skinny little.
But you've had your Wheaties. You've had your wheat a bit.
Yeah,
definitely,
and
I mean,
and as you do, your my dad used to say you got to eat potatoes and eat meat and whatever to grow big and strong, and that's what we did, I suppose. You didn't leave food on the table.
no, you did. I mean,
Because there wasn't. It's not like now.
yeah, you're not guaranteed you're going to get a meal the
That's
next
right.
day.
That's
'Cause
right.
We were
So-
poor back in the 70s.
Yeah.
We were poor.
Yeah.
It was a lot different. I mean, there's poor people today, but back in the 70s, we were very poor. There was no central heating. we didn't even know what central heating was. We maybe had a coal fire.
Fire.
Maybe some wood. Some of the furniture
And
went on it.
I did that when I later on
What,
in life.
furniture?
Yep. But yeah, so you as a kid, you had your friends, so you got to remember at that time it was kind of like no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. All right, there was a big Irish family. The Cook, I think there was the Cook family or something like that. I think they was, but they lived across the way from us. There was a big family.
Yeah, because them paddies, they
Yeah, they had obviously
they're not like they don't pull out, do
No.
they? They just
well,
let it go.
that's on them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had our Irish friends. But you got to remember that them times it wasn't about, oh, you knew this kid was from Ireland or you knew that kid was from somewhere else. You were just kids.
Yeah.
You just played with your friends. You did whatever you did. We had, and you know, we used to go from where I lived in Abbey Wood all the way up to the Abbey Wood ruins, which now I think they're a conservation site.
Yeah, yeah, it is, yeah.
So you can't go on there. You
can't
have to walk
play
around
on
it.
it.
You can't
You
play
can't play on it.
But we used to be up on the old ruins. That was our playground.
Yeah.
So we used to go to the woods, walk up to the woods, past the Abbey Wood train station. That's all changed now. We used to have, when I remember Abbey Wood train station when I had the crossing where what used to lift up.
Wow.
And the old trains that used to go on there, like steam train. I remember the steam trains.
Wow.
With the smoke coming out.
Well, you're really showing your age.
Yeah, but you know, when I talk about these things, they're the memories that I have, and they're the great memories. That I have.
Mate. You've got to be grateful.
Know, so
You've
yeah,
done well.
I am
You've done well,
grateful
mate. Did you ever think you'd get over 60? I mean, looking back,
no, you can't. You can't. That would have been later on in my 20s, maybe. And I'm looking at someone going, he's 60, he's fucking old.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know?
Yeah.
In my 20s, I'm looking at someone saying they're 60, and you go, fucking hell, that's old.
Do you think?
But now I'm in my 60s. I'm in my 61st year.
Yeah.
I'm going, but yes, all right. Then I'm older. You know what hurt me a couple of weeks back? Obviously working on the doors. I still obviously do working on the doors. I got called uncle. I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified.
Uncle's not.
Uncle.
Uncle is a term of endearment.
Yes, I had to really take this in. I said, no, please don't call me uncle. But then when I was explaining...
One thing, was it a male or a female?
It was a female.
Right, there you go. That's why you didn't like the uncle. Because it was a treacle. You don't want a treacle. And I bet she was attractive as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say she was ugly. I'm not gonna say she weren't good looking. But it's just the fact that of being called uncle. It wasn't a term that I would... I expect my nephews and nieces to call me uncle, but I don't expect someone on the street to call me uncle. And I'm like, oh, God, now I'm actually...
But maybe
I'm in that age now.
Maybe she's not into older men. Which
I don't care.
They don't know what they're missing.
No, well,
you
know what? I'm not going to run down that road. Definitely not. But going back, obviously, growing up in Abbey Wood, obviously didn't see a lot of black faces. But
No,
and there was
back then in the 70s there weren't none.
And then experiencing racism for the first time, but not actually knowing what racism was. It was just we just thought that man who lived on the same block as us, on the same landing as us, we lived in a masonette, two-story masonette.
Yeah.
He was a few doors down. We didn't understand that he was actually, turns out that he was South African, coming from South Africa in the 70s.
Great.
So didn't understand that he was actually racist.
Prejudice from birth.
Yeah. So
South Africans.
And then there was one incident that I remember as a kid. We used to have at the end of the block, there was a little young kid that we were friends with. If we walked past this man's door and he was in the house, in the flat, he would come out and scream and shout at us as kids.
And call you Kaffir.
I don't know about whatever.
Well, that was their term.
That's whatever words that they used.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was their term.
But he would have a go at us kids because we were going to see our friend, and we didn't understand. We didn't understand.
No,
Obviously, you don't understand racism as a child.
No.
But then one day, I remember my mum had gone out shopping. We were coming back into the block, walking up the outside stairs of the block, and he was coming down. This man was coming down, and he actually pushed my mum back down the stairs.
Oh my days!
And then,
how old were you, Jew?
We was kids. I was maybe 7, 8.
Right.
You know what I mean? Young.
Yeah. Too young to do anything.
Too young. Yeah, 100% too young to do anything.
Because if you would have been, you know.
But then my dad, my mum, I think my mum had maybe said to us not to say anything. But then as kids, you go,
Yeah.
this man.
Yeah.
And then and I remember my dad actually nearly killed the man. He was going to throw him over the balcony. My old man was a big strong man.
Yeah, he still is.
So,
he still is a big guy.
Yeah, he was like I say, he was a tower crane driver, so he knew, and he was worked on building sites, so you can imagine what he was like.
Yeah,
he was a lump,
strong,
and big strong man.
And he stood up for himself.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, he didn't really take a lot of shit. And then later on, my sister Joanne, she was always diabetic. She was diabetic from a young age. And then she ended up having to go into hospital and always being sick and unwell. Then my mum became unwell. My mum had mental health issues. And at the age of 10, I was 10, and we ended up being taken into care. So myself, my younger brother, my younger sister, Joanne was already away as far as I remember.
Because she was ill.
Yeah, because she was diabetic, yeah.
So she was ill. So about 10, you went into the care system. But before 10, that was your memory of Abbey Wood.
That's where I grew up.
From birth to 10. And then what happened? Where did you go?
And then from 10, we went to Plumstead, moved with a family in Plumstead, the Harrington family, a white family,
foster parents,
our foster parents, yeah. So we was told, remember being told that we was only going to be in care with this family for 6 weeks, around 6 weeks. My mum was away in the hospital, and we was going to be put in care for about 6 weeks. Ended up for me, it ended up being 6 years. So I was there from 10 with my foster parents from 10 till 16. Then, as far as I remember, things started happening. I'm getting into my teenage years. Started getting into a little bit of trouble. Then I was moved out, and I went to another couple of different homes, hostels, and then another foster parents until I was 18. So I lived in a couple of hostels. Not nice places, but you just got on with it.
Yeah.
My brother stayed with my foster family until he was 18. My sister, my younger sister Marcia, she was moved to a family member over in Lewisham. One of our aunts over in Lewisham. And it's only later on that you find out these different things, that her life wasn't as nice. Yeah, Marcia's life wasn't.
What was that, abuse?
Yeah.
Was it abuse?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100% she would have been abused. And I'm not saying she was
physically or mentally.
Not sexually abused or anything like
verbally
this.
and
verbally
mentally.
Verbally and mentally and physically. And so these are things that you learn and that I've learned later on.
Well, a lot of trauma you get in care.
Yeah.
A lot of people hold on to that and they don't talk about it. So, and that's why they get involved in drugs.
Yeah.
Because of the trauma.
So my older sister Joanne, she was away in care homes, but I remember her always running away and coming back to where she knew, which was our foster parents and the area of Woolwich. So she knew people there, obviously. And it hurts me now to think that I've only been told about these things and learned these things, that she was abused.
Yeah. What in the? I mean,
in care when she was in care. And
Joanne was on her own.
Yeah.
Because of her medical needs.
Yeah, because of her medical needs. So she weren't a bad child or anything like that.
No, it was just
because she was a sick child.
Yeah, she needed to be with certain family,
which was back in the 70s, because they didn't really know how to in hospitals to deal with these her medical condition. She was sent away to
what was
places
it? Diabetes?
Yeah, she had diabetes. Yeah. So and back then, obviously, it was kind. I don't know how new it was and what the care system, the medical system was to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they just said, right, it's specialised help that they need, so they got to go away to
a special foster
place. Yeah, and then so she was away in homes, but she unbeknownst to me and unbeknownst to the rest of us, she was being abused there as well. You know, which was a very sad thing. And this is things that I learned. I've only learned these things in
was that
later,
racially or physically?
Physically
sexually?
and sexually as well.
Right.
That's what I was have been told. So
see, these things really do take a toll.
Yeah, and they
sexual abuse in care.
You know, when you think about this, and then you think to yourself, and then what happened as kids for us when we all came out of the care system, as far as my older sister, myself, my younger brother, and my younger sister, we all came back together. We came back together like that.
Yeah.
Like a fist strong. And we didn't leave each other. You know, as siblings, you're always arguing as siblings, but that's what siblings do.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
the love.
But there was no, you couldn't.
And the bond.
The bond, you couldn't.
It's unbreakable.
That's right.
It is. With
You
certain
know,
siblings.
and I have, sad to say that I've lost my older sister. I lost my elder sister 20 years ago now.
Right.
Just over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I remember,
and then, obviously, my younger brother, Amy.
Yeah.
He
couple
passed
years
away
ago.
2019.
Yeah.
So, it's me
And Marcy.
Marcy left now. Yeah.
But you got loads of.
And we obviously with us and the way we've grown up, the family that we have in Woolwich and the surrounding area and our friends that we've made over the years.
Yeah.
They've always that bond is never gonna.
Exactly. I mean, Barnfield Estate now. Let's get on to Barnfield, because as a child, there's certain places around that were hotspots. For,
yeah.
You know, so you would have Plumsey Common. There was the adventure playground up there. We used to get in there a lot.
So for me, my first kind of forays into the PAP, Plumstead Adventure Playground, was the PAP. So I would have been maybe 12, 13 maybe, when I first ventured up that side. I lived down, do you know Ancona Road?
Yeah, of course I do.
Right? So
in Plumstead.
Plumstead Manor School,
Ancona Road. Yeah, it was just off of where Dave Courtney lived. Dave Courtney lived the next one over, didn't he?
Couple of roads over, yeah. So, but that's obviously
but
another.
I remember actually there was an Asian shop at the bottom of the. There was
right at the very bottom.
Yeah, at the very bottom there was an Asian shop, because the family that owned that shop, my sister, one of my sister's first boyfriends, he was related. I think his parents had that shop. Chaz Channer, if you're watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a typical South London, like Asian guy, but he was South London. He was proper London. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think they came from Kenya and that. But
So I went to moving from Abbey Wood to Plumstead with my foster parents.
Road.
So we lived in Ancona Road. We went to school. South Rise was just round the corner.
Yeah. My brothers went there as well.
10-minute walk, 5-minute walk, whatever it was. And then obviously you start mixing and meeting people there.
Yeah.
Then 12, 13, I go, obviously at 11, 12, you move on to your big senior school, which was Abbey Wood. I wanted to go to
you went to Abbey Wood? You didn't go to Eaglesfield?
No, I wanted to go to Abbey Wood Comprehensive because I knew Abbey Wood.
Yeah.
You know,
See, if you was from Woolwich, really, secondary
You'd
would be
gone, yeah,
Polly or
Eaglesfield,
Eaglesfield.
yeah. So I went to Abbey Wood, met a few people that obviously I'm still friends with today.
Yeah.
That was kind of the kind of building blocks of maybe, I don't know, maybe
Who did you go to school with that you still like?
I'm still,
Abbey
well,
Wood? Yeah.
obviously Kelly family, Stout family.
Right.
Jennifer, Jennifer Stout,
and Victor.
No, Victor never actually went to Abbey Wood.
Okay.
I think Jennifer and the younger brother Danny, or no, the older brother Danny went to Abbey Wood. Victor never went.
I don't know Danny, but I know the sister and Victor.
And then I just had loads of friends that I'm still friends with today. That we're on. I don't do Facebook, but we got WhatsApp groups.
Not many Woolwich guys went to Abbey Wood, did they? It was more Plumstead. It was more Polly or
no, because I had friends from Greenwich and Lewisham that went, and Peckham that went to Abbey Wood School. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so this is kind of, but you got to remember at that time there again, late 70s or mid 70s, early 80s. There wasn't a lot of. We had a school of 1800.
There weren't a lot of choice.
No, but we had a school of 1800 at Abbey Wood at the time.
Yeah.
A big school.
Yeah.
And you had about, I'd say, less than maybe 4 or 5, like maybe less than 400 black students in the school. So there was always a lot of racial tension. We had Abbey Wood, the gypsy site was down the road. I grew up round the gypsy site. My dad done business with the gypsies and everything. So,
well, the Pikeys are a minority themselves, aren't
but
they?
I wouldn't see that's the term I wouldn't use.
Well, all right. Sorry, the traveller community.
Yes,
they are a minority as well as blacks,
right.
And there's lots of Irish. They got a lot of Irish descendants and stuff. So
I grew up in that era, knowing, or not even when Abbey Wood site was there. It's still there now, but it's changed so much. I remember going onto the site with my dad as a child, and they had the old round top caravan. Not they weren't even. They was like the old round top horse-drawn caravan.
Bruh.
That's what I remember, and there was no light in there. The only lights at night time were bonfires
and candles
and candles. Yeah, that was it. They didn't have at the time back then in the late 60s, early 70s. They didn't have electricity on pipes on site and all this. You know, as far as I knew, no running water.
No.
You know,
no sanitation
and toilet conveniences and all this kind of stuff. But it was kind of like this, as far as I know, it's always been there. You know,
they just got on with it.
And they got on with it, yeah.
I mean, you might have had Calagas fires.
Maybe.
You know, the Calagas with the gas. And
I remember
the paraffin ones.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say in our house, we had the
paraffin.
We had paraffin.
Yeah.
We had a paraffin heaters.
Yeah.
A couple of... I remember having a paraffin heater in the hallway, and we had a old coal fire in the front room. You know, that's what I remember.
So from the PAP and you got to know certain people from local people, Plumstead.
Yes.
How did you meet John, and how did you two start training with Carl Osborne doing your kung fu?
That's years later. I'm gonna say, first off, going on to meeting people and going on to Barnfield.
Yeah.
Right. So I had friends that lived there and whatever. So it was so I went from the PAP, meeting and knowing people from the PAP who lived around the top of Plumstead. Then we went to Trinity, which is across the road from
church. What was that, like a community centre?
It was a community centre.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
And then you kind of went across the road to Barnfield. You'd heard stories about Barnfield really like this and Barnfield really like that.
Yeah.
But so you didn't even just want to cross that road to go to Barnfield because Barnfield was a proper estate. You know, I didn't at that time. I never lived on an estate. When I was with my foster parents, we lived in a house, a nice house down on Coney Road, which was a nice road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about estates, as it were.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was, I must have been 16, 17 when I first went over to Barnfield. Now, at that time, it was a little bit different. They used to have the bins area where they used to have to get jumped in. If you wanted to be
part of the
gang on Barnfield, you had to get jumped in.
So who were the main? John obviously John. He's a little bit older than you.
Yeah, John's a little bit old. John was a little bit older than me.
So
John Williams became my best friend. You know.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Clive, I knew, or didn't know him. I didn't know Clive, but I knew of this guy who, at the time, wore this long black leather coat. Looked like
something out of the Matrix.
Out of the Matrix, looked like Neo. Was his name Neo from the Matrix, or what's his name? Larry Fishburne, Morpheus. He looked like Morpheus from the Matrix. That's how he reminded me of.
Right. Okay.
And he was like
he's the oldest brother out of the three of them.
He was the local bad man kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the local guy. Yeah. Like, and you look at him and think, you know what I mean? Stay away because he looked so intimidating. Yeah. You know. So you stay away from those.
Another OG.
But, so they're the guys you first saw, the pap as kids you saw, and you watched kind of people grow up. One thing we did in the pap, I remember, we used to play table tennis, all right? I used to be quite good at table tennis. But we used to play, I can't remember the game that used to play, that used to all run around the table. Play, like there'd be about 8 or 9 of you playing, and you like whatever it was run out. So I don't know whatever the game was called, and he was good at it, you know. But you didn't want to beat him because he might beat you up. You didn't want to. He's a bit of a sore loser, so he weigh you in. So you didn't want to get on his bad side, you know what I mean? You might have missed the shot. Yes. Accidentally on purpose. So you wouldn't get an hiding off of Clive. So, but then, you kind of, like you're finding your way as well. You're finding your way. You're finding where you fit in. And... So you was about 16, 17 this time. Was you working? Did you? When did you get your first bit of graft? I mean, proper graft. You just talking about graft or work? No, proper work. Like you. Oh, I left school and kind of went into a job. I before I left school, because I was a little bit of, I say because I had obviously had a lot of issues in school. Yeah. So I was actually taken out of school and put into, they call them so-called special schools or whatever. It's now the building where I went to school. As you come out of Barnfield and turn left and go down to, the big flats. I can't remember the name of the big flats on Willis Common Estate. You know the one on that main road. Yeah. As you come down from Barnfield, in the dip, Common Road, on the right hand side, there's an old school there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I used to go there. Right next to Jack Shepherd's. Yes. Right, I know that. Yes. Yeah. So that was the special school that I went to. Okay. So we had about no more than 9 kids was in the school at any one time. Yeah. No more than that. Wow. You know, small classrooms or whatever. Yeah. I used to go there about 11 o'clock and be home by 2:30. So it's a bit like an attendance centre. Yes. What they would call today. Yeah. When I came, you didn't really. I'm not even going to say I learned anything there. I actually learned I could take a good shot. Because one day, a punch? Well, it wasn't even a punch. One day I was, we were all in school, and it's crazy when you think about it. Our classroom was here, and we had a climbing frame where they'd pull it out, but it would open right to the door. You know, so you come out, you could walk out the door, and the climbing frame would be right there, with swings on it. So I've walked out the classroom one day, bang! I got hit. The guys, because one of the guys is
on the swing.
Yeah, on the swing,
Right.
and he's hit me. Crash. Bam! He's hit me right on the side of the
With the
face.
foot?
With his feet, yeah. But he ain't knocked me out. He hasn't actually dropped me. He's just kind of turned me to the side. But full swing, crack. I walked.
Yeah,
and
not nice.
But yeah, it's not nice. But I'm not saying I could take a good shot.
No, you can't take a good shot, though, can't you? But that just showed
That just
you.
kind of yeah. I remember I used to get into a lot of trouble, and I used to. I don't know. I think because I was always told at school as well that I wasn't no good.
So a lot of negative.
Yeah, that negative
reinforcement.
Yeah, that used to annoy me because I knew
It made you angry.
Yeah, it did.
It gave you some anger issues,
Yes.
mate.
And I think I already had.
You already had a bit of
Issues.
anger issue because of the care,
Because of the
because
care
of being
system,
through
yes.
the care.
Yeah.
And even though you maybe didn't have too much abuse, it's still just that being away from your family.
Yeah.
is
Being away
hurtful.
from- and
It
I'm
hurts
not
you.
saying I didn't suffer that, but and there were times when my dad would make us sit us down, and have the blackboard and do the ABC as kids. I knew the ABC through the song at school.
Yeah, through the Jackson
Yes. No, not even before then.
5. Oh, okay.
I didn't know about the Jackson 5.
They most probably weren't even around. No, they were just starting out.
So we added A, B, C, the E of that song.
Yeah.
My dad would write the letters on the blackboard as kids. My sister could do it. My brother could do it. I could sing the song, but I didn't know the letters. I did.
No.
If you point to a letter and say, what's this letter?
Because, so this was your dyslexia. You
Yes.
were dyslexic.
Yeah.
But no, what? Obviously,
that weren't a thing. So
Yeah.
when I went, and again, when I was at Abbeywood School, the teachers would write on the blackboard. They'd be doing all their writing on the blackboard and say we had to do dictation. So dictation was the teacher writes on the blackboard, you've got to write whatever the teacher writes.
Yeah.
Write that in your book.
Yeah.
What I saw could have been what that wall is there.
It could have been Japanese.
That's right.
Could have been
So,
anything.
as far as I was concerned, what I saw there is what I put in my book.
Yeah.
So what I saw was scribble. So the same lines is
So
what
you was getting into trouble, or they would say to you that you must be stupid,
I'm
or
stupid,
you're
yeah.
thick.
You're stupid, get to the back of the class. You're thick, get
when
out.
when really
stand
it was
outside.
It was just.
Why are you calling me stupid and thick? I'm not stupid and thick. So that was when I
It's a
started
medical.
rebelling.
It's a medical
So
condition.
if I see that, that's why I put in there. I could do maths. I was good at maths. I could do woodwork, metalwork, photography, all these other things. Art. I loved all these things.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't read,
Yeah.
that was the problem. That they just said that you're stupid.
So did
get
your
out.
so
I
did your
started
dad
rebelling.
did
No.
your dad give you any
No.
grief over that?
Yeah, of course he did.
I mean, did he put
would
you
get-
down
yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
yeah.
Like,
And
like,
I would get beaten.
like what's
because-
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like that type.
Why
Thing. You
can't
know,
you do
they
this?
can do it. Why can't you
Yeah.
do it? But
Yes.
slap round the head.
So yeah, so that's where.
So your school life wasn't great. And
Well, I
did you-
enjoyed school.
did
I'm not
you-
gonna say I
Did you
didn't
leave
enjoy
with
school.
qualifications though? Did you leave school with any qualifications?
As far as I remember, yeah, I left with whatever.
GCSEs,
I don't know if they're GCSEs or
A level, O levels.
No,
none of that. Just
A-levels,
GCSEs or CSEs, I think they were.
CSEs or GCSEs or whatever.
Maybe City and Guilds.
Yeah, no, City and Guilds weren't around. No.
Okay.
But then when I left school, I went into actually before I left school, they put me on I used to go on a work kind of program.
Apprenticeship
So,
type
yeah,
thing.
like an apprenticeship. So I
It
would
weren't
go.
YTS.
No, it wasn't none
It
of
was
that.
before
It was
YTS,
before,
wasn't it?
way before YTS.
Yeah.
So I would go and work on a building site. My foster parents, one of the brothers, had a
Construction, building firm. Yeah.
So I would go and work with him. I was kind of
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was free labour, but it was fucking cheap labour. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
of course. And you was
I did get paid. I remember I got paid, but I never got paid the man's wage. Of
course
I got paid the kid's wage.
Right.
Even though I was doing a man's job.
And you was the size of a man. Because you was the size of you was
no, but I was. You got to remember, I was a skinny kid growing up. Yeah, I was a skinny kid growing up. And I put on size. Yes, as I was before I was leaving school, maybe I started growing a bit thicker.
But your dad is a big guy.
Yeah.
So it all come from your dad. Marcy's big for a girl.
She's
Amos was like
but
you.
The thing with Amos,
Joanne was small.
Joanne was small.
She was the only small one out of you lot.
Yeah.
You, Marcy, and
like
Amos, fucking 6 foot plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a woman who's 6 foot plus is quite rare. You know. And she's
Marcy. See the thing with Marcy. I've got to tell you a story. Obviously, we mentioned Gonks earlier. When we first went to South Rise School, we must have been there 2 days, and Gonks Godwin he's the local loud kid.
Yeah.
And this is how shook I was. I remember he was in the playground and he'd come to me, screaming and shouting, ah, and I'm new in the school, only a couple of days in the school, and I'm like, what's going on? And I was scared. I don't know this kid. But he's standing in front of me screaming and shouting.
Why?
I have no idea. But I'm 10.
How old is he? He's a bit younger than you.
Godwin's
Or same age.
I think he's 2 years younger than me. I think, or a year younger than me.
Okay.
But Marcia, my youngest sister Marcia, is the one that jumped on Gonks and wanted to straight. This is Marcia. She's always been that
lively.
Yeah.
She's game. Listen, I've worked with her on the door. You ain't got to tell me about your sister, mate. I worked with Marcy. We worked some of the roughest clubs in South.
Yeah.
Listen.
Game,
staunch, loyal, everything you could want in a fella, but she's a girl.
Yeah.
Lovely girl, mate. One of the best.
I would say she's always been my strongest, and Amos's and Joanne's strongest supporter. You know, it's nothing. Marcy was all about, like, you couldn't trouble this one and not have her on your back.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
she's
mean?
just loyal.
Yeah.
100%. You know, she.
And you know what's sad for me is that I never saw it for a long time. You know, I was caught up. You get caught up in your own world.
Yeah.
But she is so fiercely loyal.
And also fearless.
Yeah.
She is fearless, mate.
Yeah,
she
100%.
She don't.
And the thing is,
I've been back to the backs to the wall with her, and mate, she is fucking loyal and game as fuck.
And I gotta say, when we was kids, she was. I think there's a black and white photo of me, her, and Amos somewhere, and she's towering over all of us.
Right.
Amos was the smallest. I'm kind of up there, and she was towering over all of us. You know, she was like the little big sister. She was.
Yeah.
But fiercely loyal and fiercely protective. You know.
So, Jude, tell me something. How did being in? I know you got to have some anger issues, but you obviously channeled it in the right way with the boxing. But how did the boxing? Because I remember being on Barnfield with you, John, Clive. I mean, that was a proper front line, what we had on Barnfield. This was not no joke. This was legendary for the whole of Southeast England knew about this estate. If you wanted drugs, this estate was the one. How I can remember sitting up on the wall. I can remember mad incidents, people getting cut. People getting cut in their face, big Ray Saunders, mad, loads of raids on the pubs, armed robbers. But how did you, from sitting on the wall with me, selling hashish, how did you transform that into boxing? Where did it come from? I remember. No, actually, I remember you was training with you and John were training with Carl.
With Carl.
With Carl
But this
Osborne
was
doing your kung fu.
Doing kung fu, yeah.
And then you went with Andy Mayo because I trained with Andy Mayo as well.
So a little bit before me training with Carl and John used to obviously do kung fu. I was doing the boxing, so I'm about 18.
Yeah, but you was European
Yeah,
kickboxing champion.
But this is before that. So I'm doing boxing.
Oh, at St. Peter's.
Yeah, so I'm doing boxing at St. Peter's. Me and John had become friends by then.
Best friends.
Yeah, and it's how I became friends with John and how I became best friends with John. John had not long come out of Nick. And it was winter time. I was working, I had a job, and John said to me, remember Andy Morgan?
Yeah.
Right, so we was all friends. John had said to me, and it was winter, that he needed a coat, or he just mentioned that he needed a coat, all right? And I'd not long bought a really nice coat, and I said, I've got a coat for you. And I gave him this new coat. And by me giving him this coat, he instantly
loved you.
Loved me. And I didn't understand why.
Because
he said to me years later, he said, you know what? He said, I didn't expect anything, you know, and nobody had done anything like that for me before.
He came from a poor background, didn't he? Jamaican.
Well, he didn't come from a poor background. He came from an abusive background. From Jamaica with his twin sister. And he was abused.
That's why he was so crazy, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was he was the scariest motherfucker, mate. He was that guy that you didn't want to fuck with, mate, at all. You know, he was.
I never used to understand. He would say to me certain things about young people, right? He said, if fucking a kid is mouthy to you or mouths off or whatever, he'd clip him around the bum, smack him around it, or he'd do something what I thought at the time was nasty and horrible.
Yeah.
But he would tell me, if these kids grow up, and if you let them take an inch, they're not going to take an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Yeah.
You know, a piece of rope, they're going to strangle you with it.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I kind of learned, that you can't give people, no matter how big or small they are, can't get their leeway. But also, I learned that he had a softer side because...
Really?
Yeah, he did. 100% he had a softer side.
Yeah, well we never see that too often.
Which was that I saw that he would... You know, again, John was...
With females, I see him have a softer side.
Yeah,
but not with guys.
Yeah, sometimes he would. He would.
No, I mean, if he liked you, I suppose
yes,
he would...
if he liked you... If he
didn't like you,
then you were in trouble.
You were fucking in trouble,
mate.
You
was in trouble. Yeah, definitely, 100%. But I saw him, and obviously for me, because he did become my best friend, he was more than a best friend. He was family. John was
like your brother, mate. Yeah. You were brothers.
Yeah. He was family to me. So I saw everything about him, you know.
Yeah. You see the layers.
Yeah.
Of the onion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And
because we
would spend
as
hours
kids. Myself, I didn't see too much layers of that onion. All I see was.
So this was the thing with
this guy you don't fuck with. He was a serious unit.
He was.
And
he was
could
a
fuck
unit,
it. He could have it, big time.
You know what makes me laugh about? What made me laugh about John was if he saw he loved action movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Rambo.
If he saw
Rambo.
a move,
a
kung fu move,
yeah,
on the TV, he'd practice it and practice it and practice it until he got it, until he could do it.
Yeah.
Because then you'd understand why he did it in a fight.
Mm.
I remember I had a girlfriend, Jane, her name was, and I lived Kingsman Street, a little bedsit in Kingsman Street, and I was there one night. Me, my girlfriend, John. We was walking. We used to walk from Kingsman Street right through Woolwich to the 51 bus stop, which was by
the
train
equitable.
station. Yeah, by the
Equitable.
right. So it's by the train station.
Yeah.
So we walked through there and
What,
then
and get the 51 up to
put her on-
Barnfield?
No, put her on the 51. So she go home 'cause she lived in Sidcup.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So me, John, her was walking through Woolwich one evening. The skinheads used to have a pub
The Crown and Cushion.
by
The Ferry.
yeah, right.
Crown and Cushion.
Yes,
Very well known racist, pub.
racist pub. Yeah. So we're walking through. There's a crowd of skinheads. I'm walking.
What year was this roughly?
Oh God.
70s?
No, this would have
80?
been early 80s. Early 80s. It was early 80s.
82, 83, 84? Something like that?
Before then, I would say
81, 80, 81?
I was. You know what? I was 18 because I hadn't long come out of care, and if it was Jane, I would have been in my early. I'd have been 18, going on nearly 19, maybe. Right, but we're walking, and John was walking beside us. Next thing I know, I've turned. John's not there. I've turned round, and John is surrounded by all these
Skinheads.
skinheads of people.
Right.
And I'm going, oh, fuck. So I've kind of walked back up. And just as I'm getting near to John, I've seen one of them go, "Ah!" and bam, he's on the floor. Anyway, one of them has come near him,
Got too close.
got too close. He said to me, he done one of them in the eyes, like the fingers
Finger
in the
pokes,
eyes, yeah.
yeah.
And when I see him, as he's done that, and another one, he's hit him in the face, and I've just seen the guy's face explode. Next thing is I'd say there was about 10 to 12 guys fighting. John is just knocking people everywhere. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Then I've got a couple on me.
Yeah.
We're fighting, struggling, fighting. Bam, bam, bam. This is when the buses used to run down Power Street.
Yeah.
Right?
And the open back buses.
Yes. So the buses used to run down Power Street. And they used to turn and go down past the Equitable and then go straight up towards Plumstead.
Up Burridge Road.
Yeah. Right? I've seen lots people are coming on me, we're fighting, struggling, this, that, and the other. Next thing I see out the corner of my eye, I'm pushed against a fence or the railings. And out the corner of my eye, I can see a guy, he's got, they used to have the lights on the poles to say that there was roadworks.
Yeah.
And they used to just have a old craggly bit of concrete on the bottom. So the guy is struggling with this light over his head like that, coming from, and all I can see is from there, but I've got these guys on me fighting. And all I've done, I'm like that, John! Just screaming. I've seen him come from nowhere like Action Man. As he's dived over the fence, he's come over the fence, karate kicked this guy with this thing, and he was like Superman, honestly. So I say yes, that was one of the times I remember he saved my life. Other times we've been in fights where I've just seen him destroy people. Absolutely.
Yeah. I see him destroy feds. I see him destroy fucking SPG on his Jack Jones. On his Jack Jones kicking old Bill all over the place, mate. I can't remember what he was getting nicked for.
He wouldn't take no shit.
He didn't take no shit, mate. And neither did his dog, Max.
Yeah, and
Max didn't take no fucking
Max
shit.
later on in life,
Fucking hell, I see him
big old
terrorise
rottweiler,
bare people, mate. I see him I see him rip off Kesworth's t-shirt. I see him hold Tucker hostage in his car.
Was it on top or in
He was in his car, and he couldn't get out of the car because Max was.
That dog was wild.
That dog, he
Max
loved me
even
though.
fucking bit me.
He loved me. Do you know why he loved me? Because I used to come on that estate. I'd go to the pub, the Oak.
Yeah.
There was an off licence next to it. I'd go in there, get a packet of Watsits, and I would feed Max Watsits every time I come on that estate. I'd have one for him, one for me, one for him, one for me. And the dog loved me.
Yeah.
Max loved me. But I see him terrorise that dog. He
I
ripped
was
up
lucky because.
And what are you going to say?
Obviously, for me, obviously, I'm in John's house.
Well,
all the time,
you're his best mate.
I was his best mate. So
Max knew you.
I could take the dog out.
Yeah.
I could take the dog for a walk. You know what I mean?
I mean, that estate was full of dogs.
But yeah,
full of dogs. Everyone had dogs. There was pit bulls. There was pit bulls, stat English bull terriers. Fucking mad. Tell me how. Now you were training with Carl.
Yeah.
And then Andy Mayo.
Now, so I was boxing. I was boxing first. Then I did kung fu with Carl. Then I obviously been away.
Started training with Andy Mayo?
No, I'd been away. And then when I started training with Andy, I'd come out of Nick and...
Wait. I remember you went to prison.
Yeah.
What did you go to prison for? What was that for?
At that time...
What did you do?
At that time, before I started training with Andy, do you remember the Tunnel Club?
Well, I got letters. I was away at the time, hearing about Tunnel Club.
So when Tunnel Club got raided, I got nicked. So they tried to set me up as a
drug dealer, wasn't it?
As a drug dealer.
The main drug dealer for the club. Because Tunnel Club, for anyone who don't know, used to be became Dorotons, then it became House and Terrace and House and Terrace Club, and then it became 338, which is worldwide. You know, it's exclusive.
Now,
it's one of the best clubs in the UK.
Yeah, it's different.
338.
And actually,
but Tunnel Club back then
I've never been in there.
Was that what 338? Oh, mate, I worked there. It's amazing. It's amazing club.
There.
I was when it was House and Terrace.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? How did you before that you went to prison before that?
Yeah. But I was in and out. A lot because
was it anger issue? Didn't you do an armed robbery? Didn't you do I swear you did an armed robbery. Because I remember sending you up a load of books to read. Yeah, I think you was in Rochester. I sent you up a load of books to read.
That was actually the first time I was away.
Right. So that was for armed robbery.
That was it was. I'd got in with these guys, and one of them worked in a fast food restaurant up in the West End, actually on Oxford Street.
Okay.
He said, yes, there's a particular time when they collect the money, cash and checks, and there's going to be about 4 or 5 grand. At that time...
That would have been maybe 30, 40 now.
At that time, yeah, because that was definitely the early 80s.
Yeah. So
I was 18, 19. 19 maybe. Coming on 20. 19 maybe coming on 20. I was working. I had a good job. I worked uptown. I had a good job like doing labouring.
So why
it was that thing where for me I was this guy that didn't really say no. If someone said, "Oh, we could do something," all right then, I'm game.
Yeah.
So as you do, so we it was such a messed up plan. Go to this place. One of the guys knew because he worked there, so it was an inside job, obviously.
Yeah.
Got us in the place. We had clothes that we was going to change into, or we changed into. Not thinking, So we actually got the money. One of the guys, the workers actually got injured. Luckily for me.
What, the guy with the inside guy?
No. One of the guys we was robbing.
All right.
Actually got injured.
Badly? Was it?
Well, if it was now, they would have said, yeah, it was bad. But he got his head.
He got his head busted open.
Yeah, he got his head busted open. Yeah.
Bruh.
So, luckily, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, oh, I went up and say, oh, yeah, it wasn't me. But it wasn't me that did it. We got out with the money, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. As we've come out of the place, we've had the not SPG, but the plain clothes were in the vicinity in the area, and they spotted us and kind of gone. What's going on?
How many?
3 of us.
Black guys,
Yeah.
all black.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Right. So then, one of them's got away. But the one who got the money, he had the money in a. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but he's got away with a briefcase of money. Right. 2 of us have got stopped. I remember it was near a building site. So what had happened as we're coming out of the place, we're throwing all our things, getting and
the weapons.
yeah, throwing it all over on the building site. So you can hear cling, clang, cling, clang. That's when they've been alerted. So we've got stopped, but they don't know what's going on. And I remember me like a fucking clown.
So you were stopped under sus.
Yes, right. And they got
Stop
us sitting
and-
down on the.
stop
They
and
got us sitting down on the floor, and I'm kicking off. I'm trying to kick off these. I remember I was wearing tracksuit bottoms. I'm trying to kick off these tracksuit. So as I've got the tracksuit bottoms off.
Why? Because of your description, you would have been described. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so.
Trying to change
That
the
was my change of clothes. Anyway, as I've got the tracksuit bottoms off, I've made a run for it. I've left this copper. As I'm running down the road, another copper's come out from nowhere, and I've just launched him. I've seen him come out at me. I've just launched him, kung fu kick, crack, took him out. But obviously, I'm gone over and they grabbed hold of me and whatever. I got arrested. So they've got me. They've got the other fella, and then
The briefcase guy has got
the
away.
briefcase guy's gone.
Did he get away?
But no, he never got away. I don't know how he got
got
caught.
nicked.
But all 3 of us ended up
In the cells.
West End
Charing
Central.
Cross,
No,
West End Central.
Um,
Horrible police station,
we
mate.
was there for. I think we was there for the.
They were
3
fucking
days.
horrible cunts, them.
I think we was there for 3 days or 2 days.
Yeah. Went
Forensic
to- off, wearing
went
a
to
suit.
school. No, actually,
Did they not take you?
No, they didn't.
Oh.
And then we went to court, and I remember my dad standing up in the dock pleading to release. They gave us bail.
To get bail?
Yeah. So I was
On
on
the
bail
surety?
for.
Or just got bail?
I had no clue.
No surety.
So I got bail, and then ended up
Getting
a year.
a year. That's
Yeah.
fucking. You're
Oh,
lucky
yeah.
you got a
Oh,
year,
yeah.
mate. Because
100%.
that was
Because-
robbery with violence.
Robbery with violence.
You got a
100%.
fucking.
Yeah.
You got a
Yeah.
result. Getting a year.
Ended up in Rochester.
Was that your first offence or
No, I wouldn't say it was my first offence, but it was my first time.
first
away.
conviction?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you've been convicted before that?
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Okay.
that was. Yeah.
So you.
Because I suppose I've been in and out of little bits of problems or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe
But
getting
that was
nicked.
my first time away
Okay.
in prison.
So you went
In
Rochester.
YC, yeah.
That was youth
That-
custody,
Youth custody, YC, Rochester.
and you did the whole bird at Rochester.
I think I did 9 months.
At Rochester,
Yeah.
out the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then released. Then ended up on New Year's fucking Day that same year in Pentonville because we got nicked. We was up.
Who?
We were obviously
Who got nicked?
me again. Me, Amos,
Your brother.
a few
Amos.
others. Yeah, up
No
at Charing
John?
Cross.
No, John.
I'm not sure if John was there, but we ended up in Charing Cross, Trafalgar Square, New Year's Eve or whatever. Ended up kicking off with the skinheads.
Oh,
On
Trafalgar Square
yeah.
with New
Yeah,
Year's
back then,
Eve.
yeah,
back
yeah,
in,
back
that was
then.
fucking well known.
Yeah. So we ended up kicking off with the skinheads, getting nicked by the old bill, whatever. I ended up on remand for a fucking month in the Ville.
Okay.
And then it was
For
a case
what
of,
was that for? A fray or?
I don't know if it was a
GBH,
fray or GBH
assault?
or whatever. I don't know. But they just kept me there. They just kept me there for fucking.
Yeah.
You know,
Took
so I was
the
on
piss.
remand, and then
You got bail.
yeah, no, I was there for a month.
What? So
And
did
then
you
when
go
I
straight
went
to
to
court?
court, yeah, when I went to
Okay.
court, they just said it was time served.
Okay.
Yeah, time served. Fucking pissed.
So what led you
And then
into the martial arts?
I ended up getting stabbed.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that at the,
So
at the party,
at the
wasn't
party,
it?
yeah. So I ended up getting stabbed.
What was that about? That was 86. Because I swear I got letters telling me.
I can't
Remember
actually
because
remember. I
you
promise
nearly
you I can't.
died.
Yeah.
You were stabbed that nearly severed your heart. It went through.
Well, when I had punctured lung, missed my heart by about a centimetre or so.
Yeah.
In the back, my
I
stomach.
remember getting letters.
My arms, I got stabbed all over.
Yeah.
But
why?
it was an ongoing thing. Ongoing thing with somebody.
Yeah. We won't mention that scumbag's name. But you was lucky to survive. So that's
I was. Yeah.
You was very lucky. I remember getting letters and telling me.
And then after that, that's when I started doing kung fu. So, started training with Carl.
Carl Osborne.
Yeah, Carl.
The kung fu master.
Yeah.
Him and his brother.
I never knew his brother.
His brother was Ashley Walters' dad.
I didn't know.
Yeah, Ashley Walters, the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was his dad, man.
See, there you go. So
crazy,
you
crazy
know
little little link
links
up there.
and whatever.
But, so you started
training with I started training with Carl. Then we went from kung fu.
That was at Simba. Weren't you training at Simba?
No. We at
St. Peter's?
Trinity.
Okay.
Carl used to have the room upstairs, the studio upstairs. So we used to train up there. So then I went from there. Then we started doing taekwondo, me and John, over in Erith or Crayford. Started doing taekwondo. Then.
So John was training kung fu, taekwondo, and he was a street fighter.
Yeah, and actually when I went away when I got nicked for the
armed robbery.
No, for the
the Tunnel Club.
Tunnel Club.
Yeah.
When I came
was
out,
John
I was
working with you?
No, yeah, John was working. Me, Amos, John,
Albert.
Mark,
was Albert Bentley there?
Albert Bentley. Yeah, fucking hell, we was all there. I ended up getting nicked, and I ended up going on remand. So when I came out from that, being on remand there, John Taylor used to have Taylor's Gym.
Taylor's Gym, yeah.
So when I came out, John said to me, "Look, you can train at a gym."
Yeah, big up the Taylors.
Yeah. I've got to say, I mentioned I met and bumped into John recently for the first. I hadn't seen him for a few years.
Yeah.
And it was really good to see him. Me and my boy Cairo was over in Erith, and just happened to randomly bump into him. It was just really good to see him.
Didn't he go to work?
He was in America.
In America, weren't he?
Yeah. He used to have a hotel over there in America, but he's obviously come back. And his boys grown now. Fucking hell, it's crazy. But when I came out, John said I could just train at the gym, so I used to go and just train at the gym.
Yeah.
And I was down there.
Was Andy Mayo trained?
No. So what happened? I was just down in the gym, training, kicking and punching the bag, doing whatever I'm doing. Andy comes down, and he says, "Look, mate," he's watching me, and I had no clue who this guy is.
Yeah.
He's watching me.
He was a K1 fighter, weren't he?
K1 before K1 was.
Yeah.
Before people knew about it.
Yeah.
And he's standing watching me. He said, "Look, mate," he said, oh, do you fancy fighting for money? Well, looking at him, fight for money. Well, he said,
how much money?
No, I didn't ask. I just said, well, yeah, all right then. He said, look, I'll train you. I'll get you some fights. I said, all right, cool. Game.
Yeah.
So he started training me, and that was because I came out 89 and started training. I was training there with Andy from early 90. So I won, and then
you were still on 90s, you were still on Barnfield them times.
Yeah. From the early 90s, or not early 1990, and then the end of 1990, I won the European title. kickboxing.
Yeah, great achievement.
So
how did
but
that?
I still continued
that-
boxing as well.
So you were
I
still
was still
boxing?
amateur boxing as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I was still amateur boxing. So
Did you fight in ABAs? You did you
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
ABAs?
yeah.
Because I remember Dave
Yeah.
Dave Stewart was
Yes,
he
right.
was an ABA champion,
right.
wasn't
So
he?
Dave was the first person I'd seen boxing. Right. So this is how I got into boxing. I'd seen Dave. I'd come home from work one day, one evening. I had a little black and white TV in my flat. I've heard this, turn it on, got in, turn it on. I've heard this name, Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart, I know that name.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Obviously, I watched Dave.
I actually remember watching the ABA.
That's right.
Because he got pretty famous. He was locally famous,
yes, exactly.
but he didn't turn over.
Right.
I don't understand why he didn't.
Well, you know, see, the thing is, look, Dave's brother, Leslie, was light heavyweight world champion. Right? Okay. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't.
His brother was light heavyweight world champion. Dave apparently was a better boxer than the brother. Right? Dave was, you know, like Dave's like just about 6 foot, maybe. Short, squat. For me personally, I've got to say this. For me personally, I would have said he was at that time, he was the English Mike Tyson. He could have been that guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started training with Dave. I bumped into Dave after seeing him box.
For the ABA
for
title.
the ABAs.
Yeah.
I bumped into Dave because obviously we went to school together. I said, "Oh, Dave, I see you box on TV. I could do that. He said, "Look, all right, come to the gym." Got myself a gum shield, met him, come to the gym. And that was on the first Tuesday. I said, and I always say this, I don't know whether he beat the shit out of me or whether he toyed with me, but I couldn't lay a glove on him. And that's what got me hooked on boxing. So
was it the frustration and you thought, I want to
learn how to do that.
Until he feels a right hander for me, I'm not fucking...
No, it weren't even that. It wasn't even that. It was the fact that I couldn't do it. And I wanted to know how to do it.
Yeah. You wanted to learn the sweet science.
Yeah. And it weren't... And then the other thing was as well, the trainer, Pat Dempster, who... you know what? I look back now and this man, Pat, I have to give him so much props because when I got in trouble for the armed robbery, he actually stood up in court at the Old Bailey for me and
gave a witness
statement and whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I came out, I went back to the same gym, and it was for years. He would always say to me, "You got to carry on boxing. You got to do this."
Yeah.
And he always talked to me about the Lonsdale belt. Always mentioned the Lonsdale belt.
So he was a very positive influence on you.
100%, 100%.
I mean, these are the kind of people that you need in your life.
And it's not. It weren't. Yeah, but you need these people in your life, but you don't know.
You don't realise it at the time.
What their role is in your life. That's the fact.
He was a mentor to you.
He was definitely 100% a mentor, and he would say to me, he would always talk about the Lonsdale belt, always throughout me as an amateur fighter.
He was a white British guy, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
That's why the Lonsdale belt.
It meant so much.
Yeah.
To me. And for years, I remember fighting in the ABAs. I fought in the ABAs 3 times as an amateur, like in the ABA.
At heavyweight.
At heavyweight, I was heavyweight and then super heavyweight. So I think 91, 92, 92, 90. Oh no, 90, 91. 91, 92, and then 92, 93 season.
So how old would you have been in 93? How old was you in 93 when you...
In 93, I would have been 93. 93?
That would have been your last ABA.
Yeah? That would have been my last...
Your last
93,
ABA.
I would have been 28. Coming up, 28.
28, that's a bit late, isn't it?
So, no. Not from... Not as far as... Because you got to remember...
For now, I mean, boxing... When you're getting into boxing now, there's not many boxers at 28 that are getting into boxing, and
maybe not
before that.
But I'd had 10 years of
amateur boxing,
okay. ABAs, and that was also 10 years of doing kickboxing, taekwondo.
Yeah, so you was experienced. You was really a veteran by that time because you'd had a lot of combat.
Lots of
you'd a lot of experience.
I've been and fighting on the road
and
as well.
Streets. Yeah.
So me at 28 saying I'm gonna become a pro fighter. It wasn't, to me, it weren't unusual. I was still young. I was still fit. I was strong.
Yeah.
I was in good shape. So when it come to me turning over.
Yeah, how did you turn over?
I did.
So Frank, because you was with Maloney, weren't you?
So Warren Richards, you know Warren Richards. Warren was a fighter with Frank Maloney.
Okay.
Frank had acquired Lennox Lewis. Warren was a fighter. I knew Warren. I went and seen him fight. Warren had kind of introduced me to Frank, but I never knew that I was going to be. But I'd go to the gym with Warren, and Warren would train at Thomas Beckett when Thomas Beckett used to be
at the Old Kent Road.
The Old Kent Road, yeah. So I used to go there and train and do whatever. And Warren I was one of those guys, 6-pack, packed off. I was in good shape, really good shape. And I just thought, all right, well, yeah, why not? You know? And I remember I was at the gym one day training and just punching the bag and whatever. And a pro trainer had said to me, if you don't turn over now, you're never going to make it. And I was like, who cares? I don't care. Wasn't, because that weren't in my mind. I weren't thinking about becoming
being a pro.
A pro fighter, yeah. But and he was going, oh, Mike Tyson turned over at this age and blah, blah, blah. I was, okay, that's Mike Tyson. Fair enough. Fair play to him. So for me, it didn't make any difference.
Yeah, but younger is better, I think.
Yeah, but
you'd had a lot
age and experience.
Yeah, you'd had a lot of experience.
Yeah, but I didn't know and I didn't care. So I wasn't looking, going, oh, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to.
Yeah, you weren't really that interested in it.
So when I did turn pro.
How old were you when you turned pro?
I was 28.
You was 28.
Yeah,
okay.
28 coming on 29.
That is quite late.
But when I turned pro, I said, my goal is to be British champion. That's my goal. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, and you achieved
I want to be British champion. No, but you got to remember this. At that time, I didn't know who was British champion.
You didn't care?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't care. So, but I said I want to be British champion.
Because of your mentor?
Yes.
What's his name? What was his name?
Pat Dempster. So, when I turned pro, I had my first 6 fights, all wins, was going along fine. My 7th fight, I fought a guy named John Ruiz. John Ruiz went on to...
He became a world champion.
He was the first guy to beat me. I was devastated. But it gave me the impetus and the focus to say, if this is what it takes, I don't want to be just this guy that just does this boxing for a hobby. He beat me and I was gutted.
Yeah.
Absolutely gutted.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be just the guy that he was.
It gave you a kick up the arse, really.
100%. And then it made me focus. It made me more focused. So I actually stopped working.
You stopped hanging around on Barnfield.
Yes, yeah.
You stopped being the street, because you had your one foot in the street, one foot in the gym. Right. You was a bit conflicted because your mates.
Said I wanted to.
You knuckled down. Yeah. You knuckled down and became serious.
That was it. And that was obviously I had ups and downs in my career. I had lots of ups and downs in my career. But like I say.
But you won the Lonsdale belt outright and defended it.
I won the Lonsdale belt outright.
And defended it 3 times.
Yeah.
And you've got that belt.
Fine.
Yeah. There's not many people that can say that, mate.
The upside to that is, yes, I won the Lonsdale belt. So when I became British champion, one of the first things I did was go and see Pat. I went up to his house. He used to live not far from the gym. So I went round to his house and he wasn't well at the time.
Was this Taylor's gym?
No. He was up
near, Thomas Beckett?
at St Peter's School.
Okay.
On Bowes Road.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he lived just off of there.
Okay.
So I went up to CPAT and I took my Lonsdale belt up to him and said, look.
He was made up.
Yeah. And I did this on account of you because he always, for some reason, he always believed in me. And this was his thing. Throughout the time I was in the gym, he would always talk about the Lonsdale belt. And then when I had the Lonsdale belt and I won the Lonsdale belt, and I understood really what it meant.
Yeah.
To be
the
champion.
Prestige.
Yeah, definitely.
The legacy.
And I wanted to make sure that he saw it because, like I say, he wasn't well, and I was so happy that I was able to.
To show him.
To
win it for him.
Yeah,
basically.
And it was that thing where I could say, or he would say, he could say that his boy did it, you know. And I was so proud to be able to show him.
I mean, I remember when being on Barnfield and seeing you up there. You know, I used to see you daily. I mean, you used to bully me all the time.
Yes, those were the days. Fucking hell, I can't do it now.
And I remember you talking about you was going to Russia, and to me at the time, like going to Russia to fight, I was like, fucking hell, man, this guy is like, he's travelling, but he's going to Russia, mate, communist Russia to fight. And I mean, you fought a few times in Russia.
Yeah, I did. I fought a couple of times in Russia.
You fought Klitschko?
Well, I actually fought Klitschko in Germany.
Oh, right, in Germany.
I fought Klitschko in Germany. But going to Russia, I would say was one of those things where, you know, as a kid, you have these dreams. And as a kid, I remember seeing pictures of the
Cossacks.
They're not the Cossacks. You know, the whenever they talk about Russia, and especially in Moscow, they always show the building with the Kremlin. Not the Kremlin, but the building with the three steeples on it, the three round, right?
Yeah.
So they always show that building.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I was always dreamt about seeing and visiting there.
Yeah.
So when I got the opportunity to go to Russia, I actually went to we went to Russia the first time to Moscow.
Who was you fighting?
I was fighting a guy named Nikolai Kulpin. That was his name. I'll never forget him.
Yeah.
The reason why I never forget him, because I remember how cold it was. It was absolute, right, anyway, I'm not going to swear, but it was minus 20. Right?
Fucking hell.
It was minus 20. And I've never in my life, and I hope never in my life, to ever experience that.
Minus 20.
Again, yeah. You know, so we was in Moscow, and then we went to a place called Saratov, which is, it's an 18-hour train ride to this place called Saratov.
What?
So,
you was fighting there?
Yeah.
Not Moscow?
Not Moscow. I fought in Moscow, but the first time I went to Russia...
You fought in...
We fought in a place called Saratov.
Right, okay.
Right, it was an 18-hour train ride.
Wow.
So you get an overnight train, fly to Moscow, go to...
Overnight train?
Yeah, but you go to this... When I went to the train station, if you've ever seen the film Dr. Zhivago...
I have,
it's exactly
but it was years
like
ago.
that. But the train station was exactly like that.
Okay.
Big, massive thing. These old green trains.
Yeah.
When you get on these trains and they're not nice. They're not. I wouldn't at the time. They wasn't nice. And I'm going back. Now, when was that? I went to
94, 95?
95. I went to Russia in 95 the first time.
Okay.
So that's 1995. So that's going back. We're going back. What's that?
30 years ago.
Jesus Christ. 30 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, God, I've said it out loud. It's 30 years ago. My God. Yeah. So, and the train...
So you would have been 20 what at the time? You would have been over... Oh, wait there.
No, hold on. 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I'd been...
You'd have been early 30s.
No.
You'd have been...
Would I?
Yeah, 31.
31.
30, 31.
30, yeah.
30, 31.
31, yeah. 30, 31. Bloody hell. Wow. God.
See, that is a bit late for boxing.
No, but it's not, because I was fit and strong. I kept myself well, didn't smoke, didn't drink. I liked to train. I did like to train. So being 31, I think being 31, look, if you look at footballers now, 31, they're in their prime. Look at fighters, 31, they're in their prime.
Yeah.
So I'm in my prime. At that time, I'm in my prime.
Late 20s is
No,
more,
no, no,
Late
because-
20s more prime, I think.
Huh?
I think physically you are more prime.
Yeah, but it
in your-
depends. It depends what you. It depends how you keep yourself.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
depends how you keep yourself.
I know what you said. I know.
Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 41. Look, he's playing at the top of his game.
Yeah, but he's not. He's in a. That league ain't great. It ain't.
Mate, yeah, but look at him. Look at
yeah.
his body.
No,
look
he's
at
still.
him.
Yeah.
Look
No,
at-
he
look at the
still
way
takes.
keeps
He
himself.
takes. Yeah.
Look at the way he keeps himself.
Definitely.
So, me at 31, I'm
You was
all
you
guns
were super
blazing.
dedicated.
Yeah, oh,
super
100%,
dedicated
yes.
at that. You was
100%.
like all guns.
And I didn't know. Like I say, I didn't know how far I was going to go in the game. I didn't
Yeah.
like even fighting. I wasn't British champion yet. I hadn't fought for a British title yet. So I'm still on that path.
Yeah.
I'm still on that path looking for that. So I go to Russia. I fight in Russia. I come back. I fight in the hall at Bexleyheath, the sports centre, Bexleyheath Sports Centre, and I lose to a guy that it was our show. It was my show. Not say my show. It was my manager's show.
It was Maloney's
and I was it was
promotion.
Maloney's show, and I should have been. I'm the house fighter. I should. And I
Was
gave,
you headlining
They
that?
gave. I don't know if I was headlining, but they gave the fight to the guy,
On
Michael
a decision?
Murray, on a split decision by half a point. This is when
yeah.
they gave half a point
Oh
away.
shit! Half
Yeah,
a point. I
they
didn't
gave
even
it by
know
half
they
a
did
point.
half a point.
Yeah. Michael Murray, I remember losing to
That's
him. Like,
that's a bitter
you know,
pill to swallow.
and it
on
was
a half a
because
point.
he's from Manchester. So
On a half a point.
Yeah.
Bitter pill.
he's from Manchester. Don't like Man United. I'm being a gooner. Yeah.
Gooner. She's to support a good team like Liverpool.
Excuse me, I come from Woolwich. That's where we come from.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Anyway,
My first
what
school bag. That's why.
So yeah. So then after that, I fight for the Southern Area title. I win the Southern Area. Have a couple of fights defending that. Then I lose to Scott Welsh for the Southern Area title later on, a couple of years later.
On the decision.
No, he actually stopped me. The fight
Yeah.
Stopped, yeah. Knocked me down a couple of times. Pulled me down a couple of times and knocked me down a couple of times. But, sorry, Scott, me and you are great friends anyway. But I'll never forgive you. And then I win the Southern Area title back. And then I actually fought for the European title. I fought Jelko Mavrovic for the European title. Mavrovic went on to fight Lennox Lewis
For the world title.
The world title, yeah.
And Lennox parked him up.
Yeah, he did. Lennox beat him, but apparently they said that he gave Lennox one of the hardest fights he's ever had.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So Mavrovic was good. I lost to Mavrovic on...
No shame.
The
No
referee
shame.
stopped the fight.
No shame.
But he stopped the fight way too
Prematurely.
early. Yeah, I feel...
But you know, some of these decisions, mate, they're dubious and there's reasons.
You know what?
There
I'm
could
gonna
be
say
reasons.
this. I'm not going to take anything away from Jelko. Jelko, he was beating me hands down. He was pulling away. But my thing was, I would have preferred to be able to
Gone out on your shield.
gone the 12 rounds.
Right.
I was capable of doing the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
You know, but the referee stopped the fight prematurely as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. I've had it, mate. I've had it myself.
But then I came back from that. I won the Commonwealth. Won a Commonwealth title. I fought in...
Who did you beat for that?
I fought a guy named Joseph Chingangu.
Where was he from?
He's
Africa.
from Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Name like what was his name?
Joseph Chingangu.
Chingangu.
Yeah. Right. But the thing with Chingangu, he come out, I remember in the first round of that
Heavyweight.
fight, yeah. He come out in the first round and he hit me with everything from everywhere.
Except the kitchen sink.
He come out, I don't know where he was punching from, but he was punching from everywhere. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, fucking, where the fuck?
Yeah.
Like getting hit with someone threw a handful of rice at me, you know what I mean?
Like there was about 10 fellas.
Yeah,
in there.
that's exactly how it was. And I've gone back to my corner. I said, Mark, I don't know where he's fucking.
Oh, Mark Rowe.
Yeah, Mark Rowe. I said, I don't know where he's punching. How the fuck am I going to beat this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was, and like, obviously with Mark was like, look, just calm down and just focus on what you're doing, think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, got to about round 7, I think. And by round 7, I think I'd knocked him down.
He was starting to slow down a bit.
Yeah,
he was gassing out a little bit.
Yeah, he was. But I've hit him in that round, but I've hurt my hand. So the next round, I didn't throw the right hand. And then then because the previous round I should have stopped. I could have stopped him, but the next round it should have been you're gonna go and stop him.
Yeah.
And then Mark was like, "Why are you not fucking throwing?" I said, "Mark, I fucking think I broke my hand." So he's like, as Mark does, as Mark used to say, he said, "If you don't throw your fucking hand, it's gonna hurt more if you fucking lose the fight." So I just had to freaking throw it. I damaged my hand, but I hadn't broken it. You know, and then obviously I went on and won the fight on points. So I was Commonwealth champion.
But you weren't British yet?
Yeah. And then it was the next fight, I think.
You fought for the British title?
I think so. I think it was either... No, tell a lie. The next 2 fights I had, I went to Germany and I fought...
was that for a European type thing? Or?
Yeah, so I was fighting again for the European title against Axel Schultz. And then I think it was an eliminator. I fought Klitschko
for a world title eliminator.
Well, no, it was. I think it was a European title
eliminator.
Right. Yeah, so I fought, and I fought.
What one? Vitali.
Vitali, yeah, he was the big one, strong as fuck.
Yeah, both of them, fucking hell, mate. Both of them strong as fuck, huge.
And then he was like 6'9", wasn't he? And then, but the thing was, I'd already fought somebody who was 6'9". I fought James Oyebola.
Oh,
for the
was that the guy who was?
Yeah,
he was shot
James,
dead, weren't he? Over in fucking
James,
God rest his soul, mate.
So I fought James. I'd actually fought James at the
door work. That was door work, weren't it? That was over a cigarette, wasn't it?
Cigarette,
fucking hell,
liberty. Crazy.
What a shame, man.
And yes, it was truly a shame because James, as intimidating as he was, the guy was an absolute diamond. You couldn't meet a nicer fella on the door or out on the street. You know, I remember the very first time I met James, I was working a door. We was doing a club in Leicester Square at the Empire Leicester Square. So anyway,
wasn't it called Home?
Not Home. No, it was the Empire.
Oh, right,
We're actually working at the Empire.
Right, yeah.
So I'm on the door there, and it was with what's his name? Boy George's brother.
Gerald O'Dad.
Was it Gerald?
Gerald? I think it was Gerald.
Was it Gerald? He was he was running the club or whatever.
What?
He was putting on the event. So I'm there and I'm looking behind me for some reason. And then as I turn round, I'm looking at this guy's chest.
Yeah.
I'm there like that. But I've got my arm across. And I look up like that.
Yeah.
And I went, what? Oh, mate. That's the first time I'd ever met James.
Everyone had to look up to him.
And he was like a
gentle giant.
He was an absolute proper gentleman. And he weren't like this bullshit,
yeah.
He said, like in his big, deep voice, I'm a friend of the owner. And I went, I'm like, yes, yeah. So I turned and I've seen the guy say, yeah, he's cool. And I went, all right. And then the next time I see him, obviously I didn't know who he was. And then the next time I met him was at the Beckett.
He was up there training?
He was up there training.
Who managed it? Was it?
He was.
He weren't Maloney, was he? Was he Warren?
I'm not sure if. No, I'm not sure.
Or was it
managed. He was managed.
Lawless or something?
No. I think it was. As far as I knew, I think Dean Powell again. God rest his soul. Dean Powell was his man. I think it was his manager trainer. Dean was. So I've walked into the gym at the Beckett when we was training over the Beckett. As I've walked into the gym. And I've seen the bag go, whoom, I mean, crack. And my trainer Dean has gone, there's your new sparring partner. And I've looked at him in this bag and I said, not a fucking chance. Not a fucking... I'm not going to fucking spar him. He must be mad. The way he was hitting this bag, Jesus Christ.
But I see your brother do that.
And then,
I see your brother on the bag. I see Lenny McLean on the bag as well, down Slim Jim's. Did you ever see Lenny?
No, yeah, I trained with Lenny. At what was that gym in Greenwich? Used to be
Slim Jim's.
Was it Slim's?
Slim Jim's. Yes, on top of the co-op.
On top, yeah,
Slim
yeah,
Jim's.
yeah.
Sorry, mate. I've distracted you. So you're training at Thomas Beckett, and then your new sparring partner.
So he's my new sparring partner. That's what Dean said. I said, no way I'm fucking sparring with him. And then what happened? And then, I don't know why we never sparred. And then later on, James fought Scott
Welch.
Scott Welch for the British title.
And did he beat Scott?
No, Scott beat him.
Okay.
For the British title. And then I think, for me, later on, I went on to fight James for the Southern area.
Did you? Oh,
and I beat James for the Southern area.
You stop him?
I did. That was actually James's last fight, I think. Was me beating him. And then...
you won the British title?
I won the British title, yeah.
You fought for the European?
Fought for the European a couple of times.
But you won the Commonwealth?
Won the Commonwealth.
So you had British and Commonwealth?
Yeah.
And how did that culminate in you fighting I'm Mike Tyson, which would have been 26 years ago today?
Yeah, which is mad.
Mad.
And I didn't,
mad
I never
anniversary.
realised. So today, when I woke up this morning, obviously I'm looking at I'm 29th of Jan. It's the anniversary.
26 years ago today. That's a madness.
Yeah, I never thought about it. And it's crazy that we're doing this podcast today, on this day. It worked, and this is the way it worked out.
Yeah,
so, and this is what I'm saying.
Universe.
So, 26 years today is the day that I...
Your biggest fight.
Well, everybody says my biggest fight.
All right, maybe it weren't for you.
For me personally,
but at the time, for the British public, it was definitely the biggest fight of a British fight, one of the biggest British fights. Definitely, mate. It was like, I was in prison and I listened to it on the radio, right?
At the time,
I was in Elmley doing 3 years.
So,
but, wow.
So, 29 years today, or 26 years today, 29th of Jan, was the time I fought.
Now, how did that build up go? Because when did you know? Was it 2 weeks before? Was it a month?
No.
Month,
so what happened?
Before? 2 months?
No, what happened was obviously Tyson had fought over in America. He lost against Holyfield twice. He had 2 losses against Holyfield. Lennox had fought.
Oh, had he come out of prison? He'd just come out of prison.
So he'd come out of prison. He'd fought McNeely. He'd fought somebody else.
He destroyed McNeely,
then he fought Franz Bofer.
That was
he had to fight with Franz Bofer.
That was
stopped Franz Bofer.
Yeah, late as well, wasn't it? He stopped him late.
No, 5th round.
Was it 5th? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he'd had that fight, but they said it was a bit controversial because he tried breaking his arm. Yeah, that's what he said. He tried breaking his arm. Then he had another fight. I think it was with Orlean Norris. Was the next fight he had. And they said that was a bit controversial because apparently, well, from what I saw, it didn't really look like he got hit, but Orlean Norris went over.
Yeah.
Said he twisted his knee or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that
And then
one.
the fight was called. So then, I don't know if Tyson had a little bit of issues or trouble, but then they kind of said that they didn't want Tyson to fight in America at the time. So what they did, I think they kind of went on a European tour. That's what they were saying. But for me, personally, I'd had 99. I'd had my first fight in the beginning of 99 was Pele Reed. And it's funny because even with the Pele Reed fight,
he was another K1 fighter, wasn't he? He was. I mean, he came from that kind of background.
So when I was kickboxing and Pele was fighting at the same time.
Did you meet?
No. But I won the European title kickboxing. I got that much in Combat Magazine. You remember Combat Magazine?
Yeah, of course I do.
Pele had the front cover. I was pissed off because who is this guy?
Yeah.
I've just won a European title, and this guy, whoever he is, got the front cover. I was pissed off.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're never going to meet. I'm just this other guy that's fighting, whatever. Years and years later, we're boxing now. He's become a boxer. I'm British champion at the time. I'm meant to be fighting. So when I fight Pele, that first fight Pele, I'm meant to be fighting Danny Williams because Danny was the next guy up. They'd already promoted me and Danny Williams, but Danny pulled out through injury a couple of weeks before the fight. Apparently,
Who managed Danny again?
Frank Warren.
Oh, was it Frank?
Yeah, Frank Warren managed Pele as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think Scott Welsh.
Right.
So,
was there any beef ever between Maloney and Warren? Did them two?
That's their business. I wasn't, you know. And I suppose there was always this thing between managers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always because it's about money.
Stables.
Yeah, stables and money and fighters, whatever.
Yeah.
So, as far as I was concerned, yes, I've got this guy. I'm fighting Danny as far as I was concerned. But Pele steps in. They've said, Pele.
Got a replacement.
Yeah, got a replacement, Pele. The only thing I know about this guy is that
he was
puncher.
a kickboxer.
Oh, no,
he's
a puncher. He can punch. So, okay, all right.
Yeah, but you can punch.
But
was he more of a not? He had more.
Had 13 fights
and
13 KOs.
Bruh.
Or 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 KOs.
Wow,
that was his record.
Yeah, that's good.
So, as far as I was concerned, and I said this, I remember the small TV interview beforehand. They come to me and said, like, what do you think about Pele, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, whoever he is, but he's not getting what I have.
Yeah.
He wants my British title, but
yeah.
That's what I said, he's not getting it. So, and then you got to remember as well, for me personally, John had died at the end of 98. John had passed away at the end of 98.
God rest his soul.
So I was still grieving with John passing.
Yeah.
So that was it was kind of, there was a lot of things going on for me, you know. And then that obviously that fight had come up. I'd taken that fight, and that was in the Jan. And for me it was about thinking about what we'd spoken about. Me and John had spoken about over my career and whatever. And John had said to me, and I never knew that the next year I'd be fighting Mike Tyson. But me and John had watched Tyson win the world title.
When he fought Trevor Berbick.
When he fought Berbick.
Yeah.
And this is in 86.
Yeah, I was in Huntercombe.
Me and John are sitting in John's flat, and we watched the fight.
Yeah.
And John had said to me, after the fight, John said to me, and I'm just boxing. I'm not long in boxing. I ain't done nothing in the amateur game. Certainly I ain't done anything in kickboxing or whatever. And then John had said to me, you could beat that guy. You could fight him. You could beat that guy. And I'm like looking at John going, John, do you know who that is? That's Mike Tyson. That's Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight in the world. Yeah. And there's no way mine and his paths are ever going to cross.
Yeah. Well, that's what you thought.
In 1980. That's what I knew in 1986.
86.
Remember,
86 and then...
That's when he won the world heavyweight title.
So you didn't fight 14 years later?
That's right. So that's
14 years.
And you've got to understand this. 14 years of being in prison, getting stabbed, being shot at, kickboxing, boxing, not knowing if I'm ever gonna, because boxing as a profession was never in my atmosphere.
Yeah.
Never in my world.
Never on the radar.
No, it wasn't on the radar.
No.
Not until the 90s, 92, 93, 90. Well, not until 93. Because it weren't something that, you know, that I could have ever said, yeah.
Did you win the ABAs?
I won up to the Londons.
Okay.
I got kicked out of the ABAs after the Londons. I beat Audley Harrison in the London final.
Okay.
And then after that, I got kicked out because I did unlicensed boxing. So because I did unlicensed and I was getting...
You was no longer amateur.
Yeah, they said I was no longer an amateur fighter. So
Okay.
they kicked me out.
So that whole build-up then, how long did you know before you was good? How long did you know before you were going to fight Mike?
I was going to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah. When did it get announced?
I was actually... So I'd fought Pele, then I fought Danny Williams.
Oh, you did fight Danny?
Yeah, I fought Danny Williams for the British title.
Did you
Then I
beat
fought
Danny?
Scott, yeah. Then I fought Scott Welsh.
Again?
Yeah.
Was that your second one with Scott?
That's my three defences of the British title.
And so you beat Scott the second time?
Yes.
Oh.
Right? So after I beat Danny, the Lonsdale belt becomes mine. So that's so I'm Lonsdale out. So the Lonsdale
Three
belt is
defences.
mine. Then I fight Scott as
Just as a pro?
Yeah, just as a bonus. That and previous, obviously, like I say, Scott had beaten me previous.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a revenge fight.
Yeah.
It was a tough fight, mind you. It was a tough fight because Scott is
Strong
a tough
guy,
guy.
strong, tough.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He was a tough guy, and it was psychological more than a physical thing for me.
Well, you'd lost the first one.
I'd lost to him. Yeah. And then later on, after that, after I'd beaten Scott, I wasn't on paper. I wasn't managed by Frank. Right. So, but Frank has always been my manager, Frank Maloney.
Why? Because your contract had run out. What?
Yeah, my contract.
So you was a kind of a free agent, but you stuck with.
But I stuck with him because I knew him.
Yeah.
And then
Better the devil you know.
Yeah, basically. And then the fact that I weren't contracted to anybody, I didn't have anything in the pipeline. So all through that kind of summertime, me and Mark was looking to go elsewhere. I'd had offers in South Africa.
You and Mark? Oh,
yeah,
right.
Mark
Yeah, your trainer.
So I had offers in South Africa, I had offers in Europe.
Did Don
And
was
then,
Don?
no, I never had experience with Don King.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the year, I was going to fight. I was going to have another defence of the British title against Harry Senior. Right? I don't know if you know Harry. Harry used to live up in Cholton.
No.
Yeah. Harry comes from Cholton. He's and again,
There's a few people out of Cholton that fucking.
But me and Harry fought.
Could have
as
a tear
amateurs.
up, mate.
Me and Harry fought a couple of times as amateurs in the ABAs. You know, twice. One year.
One each.
Yeah.
One each.
So
yeah?
the year he won, I thought I won, and the year he lost, I thought he won. Okay. Yeah. So it evened itself out. But yeah, we was going to be fighting again
from Cholton.
From Cholton for
I didn't know that.
Title, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Well, you imagine, yeah. So his guys are from Cholton, and we was from Barnfield and Woolwich. So when we used to play football up on Cholton Park,
yeah,
they'd see me and
yeah.
Oh, and they go, who's gonna get the better? That's how it used to be, But we was always quite close friends anyway. So
so the build up.
Yeah. So
when did you
I was meant
know?
to fight Harry. I was meant to fight Harry.
What, a third fight?
No.
Oh, this was the second one.
As a pro. No, this is the pros.
Oh, right. Because you fought amateur
the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, before amateur twice. And I was gonna have a defence of the British title. So that's what I was training for. Defence of the British title in November. Defence of the British title, Harry. Then there's this talk of, because Tyson had a bit of controversy in his last fight.
He's on a European tour.
Yeah, they're saying that he's coming on a European tour. So him coming on, but they're talking about in Europe. Not talking about coming to England. So anyway, next thing I know, my manager comes to me and says, "Oh, look, Julius, Tyson might be coming to England to fight. Would you fight him?" I'm like, yeah, of course I would. I'm not even. It weren't a case of let me sit down and think about it.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
and it's not. It weren't a no-brainer as far as all right. How much am I getting paid? It was a
just,
no-brainer as far as
this guy is legendary.
This guy is
He's
a legend. Of course I'm gonna fucking fight him.
Yeah.
Of course I'd fight
I mean, you're in the game.
That's
When,
my game,
when
my
you're
friend.
in the game,
Yes.
you're in the game to
Right.
fight anybody.
That's right.
It doesn't matter who they are.
I've
But
already-
this guy was special.
Yeah.
He
No,
was
but-
one of the
but
most
you gotta
special.
Remember, no. So, and yes, he was special when he was younger. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's my mindset.
Well, he's done a bit.
But
He's done a bit of bird.
Yes,
He's
so-
not the
so
same.
I'm
He's not
looking-
exactly the
he's not
same.
exactly the
No,
same.
he weren't. He weren't.
So
you thought there was chink. You thought there was chinks in the armor.
Of course. So, yeah.
They offered you the fight. You took it straight away.
Yeah, it
and
weren't a case of,
and then
how
that
much am I
build
gonna
up.
get?
That build up when he came to
So
the UK.
this is what I got to say
You
about
took the fight.
the build up.
And how from you agreed the fight to the actual fight? How long was that time scale? Couple of months. A month.
I was told to ease back on my training because I weren't fighting in. I weren't going to
So
fight in
they
November.
didn't want you peaking too early.
So
Slow down now.
My daughter Jada was. Oh, sorry, my daughter Jada was going to be born.
What?
So,
when was it? This is
my daughter was born the end of November. The fight was
99 or 2000.
Yeah, my daughter was born the end of November 99. The fight with Tyson was January 29th. So, I got to see my daughter being born. And then basically I was in camp for the rest of just after Christmas I went into camp.
So you was in
But
camp.
I'd already been training anyway, so
yeah.
I was already training.
But
so
how long was
I
you
just had
got?
to
About
ease back.
6 weeks, eight weeks?
I was in camp for
12 weeks?
I think no. I'd already been. I was in camp for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
But I'd already been training.
You just needed to
Then I
fine tune it.
Yeah, and then it was just about So, and I was down in Aldershot, Army base. That's what
Who was your sparring with at the time? I mean,
I
who
had-
could they fucking replicate? There was not.
I had a guy from America his name was Edgar Marcus. Very Tyson-esque. He was one of Lennox Lewis' chiefs.
Did you ever spar with Joe Egan?
No. Joe was already retired.
Right. And he was mainly Tyson's sparring partner, wasn't he?
Yeah, but so they're like, as far as I never knew Joe anyway until later on in life anyway. But I had a guy named, I think, Georgie Candelacchi, who was world amateur games champion. Sparred with him. Michael Holden from Manchester. He was one of my sparring partners. Obviously, Edgar Marcus, who was very Tyson-esque. Very similar to Tyson. Done all the same kind of head movement, all that kind of stuff. That's what we worked on. I can't remember who else. But I was...
Was Lennox...
No.
What about... Did you ever fight...
Lennox was fighting... Before Tyson, Lennox was fighting Holyfield. In 99, Lennox fought Holyfield. Back in the 99. So.
Did you ever come across Gary Mason?
Yeah.
Did you fight with Gary?
No,
Did you spar Gary? God rest his soul.
I sparred with Bruno. I sparred with Lennox. I sparred with all the guys that you could mention, say, from the late 80s all the way to the early 2000s. Most of the heavyweights in that era, British heavyweights in that era, I sparred with. I got to spar with the likes of Jimmy Thunder from Australia. I think he's Australian.
Did you ever
Samoa.
Bugner?
Joe Bugner Jr.
Oh, right, okay.
I sparred with Andrew Gallotta. I sparred with. These are guys that went on to, and some of them went on to
world titles.
World champions.
Yeah, Gallotta was a world title.
Gallotta was
champion.
world title challenger. I sparred with Henry Akawandy, Herbie Hyde.
What was Herbie like?
Herbie's a madman. He's a madman. He used to, the thing with Herbie, I sparred with Herbie. The first time I ever met Herbie was in 92, before I actually turned pro. And he was never any different. He always wanted to take your head off.
Yeah.
And I think with him, we had the same kind of energy. If you come to me with that energy, I'm coming to you with that energy.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So,
I mean, when I was fighting, sometimes it would take a good punt to kind of
wake you up.
fuck you to like,
but
yeah.
sometimes by that time, sometimes it'll be too
Yeah.
late.
Yeah, well,
But
it depends who was
Herbie-
hitting you.
Yeah.
If they had that
You know,
knockout power.
Herbie was tough and Herbie was kind of balls to the wall, you know what I mean? All out.
Yeah.
I hated sparring with Scott because Scott would do this thing with his hands, wave it around, wham, next thing he'd hit you with it, you know? Hated him. Gary Delaney, I hated sparring with because he had a great left hook.
Did you ever spar with Anthony Negus? Dominic Negus. Did you ever spar with Dominic?
I think I might have done, but very...
He's a bit younger. He's a little bit younger, isn't he?
Very briefly, maybe.
He's maybe 10 years younger than you.
Yeah,
He's like in early 50s.
Yeah. Might have met a couple times, but we never fought.
Delaney, good.
Gary Delaney,
good left hook. You said.
Yeah, left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Fucking hell, I hated him.
Naughty.
Yeah, but then I actually beat Gary for the British title. When I actually first won the British title, I beat Gary for it.
He went away, didn't he? Controversially, on a bit of.
Work, whatever he did.
No, it was when it fucking. I think. Yeah, it was some. Was it on the door or something?
He was on the door.
He was in the...
But the mad thing about that is I know the other side.
Oh, right. Okay. So after the boxing, you went into, like a lot of fighters do, we get into door work, security.
No, I was always doing door work.
Oh, you was always doing door work anyway? Yeah, because I remember...
Many years before
I remember
Tyson.
you, Bentley, John, down at Regency.
Yeah.
Tunnel Club.
Yeah.
So
I've done door work for God knows how. I started in door work at around the age of 18, 19. Used to work at was it Club 2000 down in Erith?
Oh no, I remember you at SE8.
Yeah. I sparred with Lee for when
At the Peacock.
no, I sparred with Lee down in Crayford.
Oh, okay.
He used to
Ampro.
gym down in Crayford. Yeah.
Ampro.
Yeah. So, and I thought that he could have been a good pro boxer.
He definitely could have turned over as a pro boxer.
Because obviously
He could have been a world champion UFC without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that when he got stabbed, that finished him.
Yeah,
That finished
you know
him.
what?
It
I
was
was.
like-
I remember actually going up to the hospital to go and see him after he got stabbed, and it weren't nice.
No.
You know, and obviously because we're all from the same manor,
From the same estate, near enough, you know. I mean...
and like, again, seeing guys like Lee, yourself, Paul, grow up, you know, me being a couple of years older and seeing you guys grow up, and I'm not even saying about the work you've done outside of the work we do, but just as men growing up and friends and whatever, you know, it's kind of and obviously people that we've known, you kind of have this bond, I'd say, and an affinity with each other that you go, bloody hell, look how well these guys have done, and look what they've done in their lives and stuff like this, you know.
Mate, I think it's testament to where we're from, South London.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not saying they breed us different, but it's the way we were way we brought up, the way, you know, and you had to be tough. You had to be. It's like that lot of gang. It weren't so much gang, like,
but it was a lot of not gang,
a lot of peer pressure.
There was peer pressure, but again, I would say with the gang stuff, we could always rely on somebody else to say, you know what, if something's happening, we can pick up the slack. You know, if someone's hurting, we can put our arm on their shoulder.
And Barnfield,
and that's what Barnfield
was like community back then.
Yeah.
It was like family.
Yeah.
It weren't just
friends.
No, it was like family.
Yeah, we are. A lot of us are
Still to this day. I mean, we got your group. Like there's there's 50, say 30, 40 guys in we got this group, haven't we? And I'm not always on there, but I know that most of the people on there, there's love.
Yes, 100%.
There's love. And there's loyalty. And if it come to it, if we had to, like, I know that we might be the old boys, but them old ones, they're still, you know, proper.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing, you know, that I know. I might not be on there all the time and talking on there, but I know if anything, if worse come to the worst, I could always come on there. And, you know, there are guys.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like I say, what you mentioned earlier with Gonks and Stephen and the likes. Yeah. I'm always, you know, speaking of those guys, when
Mickey
you call
Finn.
them, Mickey Finn. Like I say, with Mickey, I lived downstairs. Mickey lived upstairs.
Yeah.
And then I'm when I look on IG now, and I've seen he's going to play in Amsterdam, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I might go over to Amsterdam and plenty of times when I've been on the doors at the clubs, and look at this Mickey's playing. So then I see, and then his boy Logan. And bloody hell, look.
Yeah.
They're the
Next generation.
And I've got my daughter who's a DJ, and you know, and she's doing her thing. I'm going, bloody hell, wow. Yeah. Where does this all come from? You know?
No, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
All right, Jew, listen, we have had a good chat, mate. It has been fucking lovely to reminisce with you, brother. But we've got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And it has been an honour, mate.
Yeah.
On your anniversary. The baddest man on the planet. An idol of mine. You were an idol of mine. And Mike is an idol of mine, you know.
And I have to say this. I'm going to say this word before we go. That I've appreciated over the years my name being linked and with Mike and with Mike Tyson and you know the good words he said about me over the years. You know, and even if at the time, it's crazy at the time when I fought him. You know, if I wasn't fighting him, I'm a fan. I've always I would have been mostly one of them guys that would have been there to try and go and see him.
And that's exactly where you're coming from because you know, I had 2 fights with Michael Bisping.
Yeah.
And when he won the world title, I had to be, you know, it gave me a little bit of kudos.
Yeah.
That I took it, you know, we almost went the distance the second fight. It was 17 seconds, but he's 10 years younger than me. I gave him a good run for his money. This guy went on to become a world champion. And same as what Lee could have done it. Yeah. You know, if Lee hadn't got into that scrape at Lauren Polk's birthday party and been stabbed to death, he would have been a world champion, 100% UFC world champion. So for Barnfield Estate to produce 3 champions like that is fucking rare, mate.
And other people in other fields, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Look at Archie Dublin. Yeah. I mean, he was a 6-time world champion. Taekwondo world champion. He's someone that I want as a guest.
Yeah.
And Mickey as well, Mickey Finn.
Yeah.
Archie Dublin. You know, they're coming on.
Legends.
Definitely. They are legends. I'm keeping it local legends, but that had that.
But they're worldwide.
Yeah, definitely.
They're worldwide.
Definitely. Jew, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. First episode of Beast Bites. We'll be back again soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep them peeled. Subscribe. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll be back.